We need to convert the Sitecore project that we created earlier to a Sitecore Azure project. To do that, open the solution in Visual Studio and then select the project, right click, and then click on convert, and then click on convert to Microsoft Azure Cloud Service project. Let's give it a couple of seconds. Oh, it's done. And what it did is it created this new project, and it has added a reference to our ASP project. So this project will be used for configuring the Azure cloud deployment. Next is we need to configure the connection string to use web config transformation to target the specific Azure SQL service component. So I would open up for now, let's have two, two versions, the debug and the release. So from here, I'm going to add my web config transformation, this one. This is a very basic version, and I would add it right here. I will do the same thing for the release. And then I'm going to click save. And that should be it. Later on, once we have our SQL Server configured and set up in the cloud, then we're going to replace all these things with the connection strings for that specific database. Let's also add in the transformation configuration for the app data on the same set of files. So I'm just going to copy here. This will actually tell, this will actually set our data folder inside the app underscore data in the solution file. And I'm going to save. That's it. We need to copy the files and folder that's on the data folder into the app underscore data. To do that, let's locate the data folder on, and also let's open up the app underscore data. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of these files to this folder. And I'm going to go ahead and also check if there's any entry in here. Make sure that they have a readme file. So I'm going to put one here under the index. And this one should be fine. And that's it. Let's go ahead and copy the license file also into the app underscore data, which is our new data folder. We need to clean the folders inside the app data and make sure to delete any other subfolders because we don't want to overload our app data with unnecessary files. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that there's nothing in here and only a readme file should exist. So in this example, for on the indices, I'm going to go ahead and delete this folder. While that's going on, I'm going to look at the other folders. This one, I'll keep that there. Okay. And also we need to check the upload and temp folder, making sure that they have a readme file and there's no other subfolders that are there. Okay, that looks good. Let's add in a startup.cmd also into the solution. So I already have a startup.cmd file here, which I have it from my previous project. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy that and put it on the bin folder in my Sitecore Azure Pass project. Then we need to modify the service definition for the cloud project to include the um, the the code to run that startup CMD. And that should be it. Next is we need to add the Sitecore subfolders and file to the project, um, so that when they are packaged and deployed to Azure, then we have all the necessary files that are needed to run the Sitecore client and also the Sitecore CD. So in this case, I'm planning to deploy both CD and CM. So first, I'm going to select the project, make sure that to click to show all the files. I'm going to include the browser, app underscore browsers, the app config, close this, everything in the app data. Since this is our data folder, this is our Sitecore data folder. You can see all the README files here, the license, the app start. This is already included. Areas, I'll skip this for now. Bin, content, okay, controller, fine, font, that's okay. The layout, I'll include this. Also include the bin also, so when it's packed, it's there. For this demo, I'll also include areas. I'll skip on the object, scripts, everything should be here. I'll expand on this and then I'll add in the Sitecore admin. Include the copyright. Include the debug. Images. The login. Portal. I'll include the sample service. The shell. Now this one will take a little bit of time. I'll just wait for this to finish. I'll click no on this, and then later on I'll just configure this. Okay, I'm going to include the block ASPX. These two files also. The Sitecore modules. Sitecore files. The temp and the upload folder. XSLT. Default ASPX. Default CSS. The site down. Default JS. And the webedit.cs. Okay, now we have all the necessary files that are included in the project. You will notice that some of these are throwing an exception. That's okay. We will try to um, troubleshoot this one later. Okay. For the content management deployment, we need to patch a couple of Sitecore settings in the web config transformation file. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the debug and copy the settings that I already have in Notepad, and then I'm just going to paste it right after the SA variables, and that's how it should look like. And then I'll do the same thing for the release, paste it right here, and that's how it should look like, and I'll save both files. So we are patching the caching, the page store, and the view state so that it will point to a caching service that we're going to create later on in the Azure cloud. We need to update the data folder.config so that it will point to the new location of the data folder, which is the app_data. So go to your app_config, include subfolder, and then locate the data folder.config.example. First thing we want to do is we want to rename this and enable the file or the configuration by removing the example extension. Click Save, and then From here, change this to app underscore data and save your changes. This should tell Sitecore that our new data folder is located in this app underscore data. Sitecore Speak UI requires the JavaScript to be AMD module, so we need to configure the project so that it will produce AMD module. To do that, click on the project and then locate the properties, and on the script type build, select AMD and click on save. Next is we need to change some build action for a couple of files in the Sitecore shell folder. So the first one we need to do is the first one that we need to change is the empty splash screen.xaml, which is under your shell client bin. What I'll do is I'll click on properties and then change the build action to content. And then another couple of files also located in the Sitecore shell schema. This also needs to change to content. So far, those are the things that we need to make changes on our solution and project file. Right now, make sure that everything compiles. So do a build. I'll do a rebuild. As you can see, everything compiles. The next section will involve creating the databases on the Azure cloud, the caching service, and also the cloud service, and then the connection strings and some the endpoints, and then the keys. We need to grab those and put it in our web config transformation files, and then from there we'll try to uh, create a package, create an Azure package, and then try to deploy it and just do some troubleshooting from there. One thing we need to do is we need to set the Azure Cloud project as the startup project. So the way to do that is right click, select the Azure Cloud project, right click on the from the context menu, select set a startup project. That should be it.